Hello and welcome. In today's video, I will be talking about my own process of the acquisition of the American pronunciation, even though it's far from perfect yet. But even though I put general American accent in the title of this video, you can use this guide for whatever accent you're interested in, because the core work is basically the same. First of all, we will be talking about my background and my motivation. Why would we care? Well, you shouldn't care about my background, but if you want to acquire a new accent, you need to analyze your background and also to know your internal motivation. So my background is totally British. I have always worked with the British English, the British pronunciation, and I have never been surrounded by American pop culture. I know it's quite impossible, but I didn't have a Disney Channel when I was younger, and I actually didn't watch American TV series, so 0 episode of Friends, for example. I had no natural exposure to the accent, but I have my bachelor's degree in teaching of English, and it was the UK English. I also used to be a French teacher. My first language is Russian and I speak Italian. This is important because this mix can potentially have a huge influence on the way I sound. And well, it can be a positive and a negative thing. It's positive because, well, I can do the Russian accent if I want. I can also do the French accent if I need it. And obviously the same for Italian. But, well, now I live in Boston, please watch my vlogs, and I'm trying to adopt the American pronunciation. Even though it's completely hard for me, well, I put a bit hard, lying, it's really hard for me because I prefer modern RP and non-rhotic accents in general. Non-rhotic accent is, well, when you pronounce car and not car, flower and not flower. So I prefer flower and car, not flower and car. But well, in American pronunciation, it's car. And also, British is my natural accent. Well, it's not perfect, far from perfect, but it's natural. When I put 0 effort into my articulation and pronunciation, I get standard British English. I have a kind of strong internal motivation because I want to expand my identity. And I want to add a linguistic persona, if you wish. So adding a linguistic persona just to add a skill to your skill set, linguistic skill set. If you want to keep your own natural accent, feel free to do so, absolutely. It's not something that you need to do even if you move to another country, because the most important thing is meeting the goals of communication. So if you understand people, if people understand you, we're good. For me, accent is like a game. It's like acting. It's something that I genuinely enjoy. So just having another accent in my skill set, it makes me feel good. So if you feel the same way, go for it. If you don't want to work on your accent, never mind. The main question is, how do I actually work on my accent? In this part, we will have 2 branches. The branch of theory and the branch of practice. Theory is all about shadow work, behind the scenes work and understanding. So it's your knowledge base, and practice is all about listening, comprehension and production. It's a passive and active, or you can call it input and output. So, branch number 1, the knowledge base. I would use 5 points to talk about it. Let's start with sounds, because this is just the minimal unit of this layer. Can I hear the difference between the 2 given sounds? Can I hear the difference between, for example, I and I? Can I hear the difference between B and P? Something like this. Well, you can call it a minimal pair if you want, the minimal unit. Okay, if we talk about the differences between the 2 sounds, we can have 2 groups. It's the difference between general American and your, current active accent. Maybe your current active accent is the accent of your first language, or like in my case, it's just another accent of English. So you need to trace the differences in the systems of sounds that exist in both languages. For example, these are the consonants of American English, and these are the consonants of Russian. By the way, if you're learning Russian, my admiration. There are things that don't exist in Russian but exist in English. For example, dental fricatives th and the, they just don't exist in Russian, and I need to understand that, okay, first of all, I must know that they exist and I need to be able to produce them. So I will put effort into trying to reproduce the sounds that don't even exist in my language. And just not to take my own example, let's say you're from Iceland and you don't have ch and j in your language. So for you, it's kind of hard to pronounce ch and j, you see, but you will need to learn about it. The goal of this analysis is to actually put on the surface the differences and similarities between the two accents. Then, this is what I am interested in, the difference between the vowels in British and American accents. And when you have finished with this, you can also see the differences between sounds within General American. So the difference between E and E, or if you want to go deeper, you can work with phonetic transcriptions. Then you have connected speech within the sentence. I put within the sentence, but it can also be within the word. So how everything is linked. You may want to get acquainted with terms like assimilation, linking sounds, coalescences, all of this, because when you listen to a native speaker, you may notice something interesting. And in order to analyze this, you may want to understand what's going on. Then intonation, obviously, because we have a sound level and intonation level. Correctness, you don't want to say Wednesday when it's Wednesday, and you can consult, for example, the Cambridge Dictionary online if you want to have the IPA transcription. IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet. And also cool stuff. As usual, I couldn't find a better name, but I mean something, advanced stuff like pre-L breaking. If you're just starting, you don't care about pre-L breaking, okay? But as you go, you want to learn more theoretical stuff. And if you add, some details from time to time, your understanding will get better and your pronunciation will get better just because it's a consequence. A natural consequence. Branch number 2, the branch of production. We will be talking about sounds, but first let's talk about muscle training. When you imitate an accent, you can't just learn about the accent. You can't just focus on the first branch and forget about the second branch. Okay, you understand the theory, but you want to retrain your muscles because your mouth is wired to produce one language. For example, my natural accent in English is British English, so for me it's kind of hard to retrain my mouth because I want to say car, I don't want to say car, but I need to do it. So it's not about just learning. I know that I need to say car, but I also need to tell my muscles that, okay, now it's another thing and we will be needing to work on it. We will need to put effort into it. So this is muscle training. You cannot learn and acquire a new accent just overnight because you learn about it. The sound level. The two questions that I ask myself, can I hear it and can I pronounce it? So both. Audition, can I understand it? And can I reproduce it? Reproduction. I would recommend working on two similar sounds simultaneously because I think comparison works better than just absolute sound. I don't want to learn everything about the E sound. I want to know the difference between E and I. You see? For example, in French, you would want to know the difference between the French E, for example, in the word jolie, and the two E sounds in English. You have fleece and kit. When you're trying to acquire a new accent, you need to know that these are the differences, these are maybe the similarities, but you need to know about them and you need to reproduce them. You need to understand them. For example, you cannot say quitte just because in French it's E. Okay, so you need to rewire your brain. Speaking of connected speech, because I cannot actually see what I'm showing. When I want to work on my connected speech, I go on YouTube, I open YouTube, I find a random video, usually vlogs or interviews, and I choose 2-3 phrases and go full surgeon. I usually record my screen. I don't watch videos on YouTube, I record the chunk that I'm interested in. Then I type down the transcription, the word transcription, not the IPA transcription. I mark everything that I find interesting. For example, assimilation, elision, unexpected sound and disposition, as I said, coalescences, linking sounds, everything. Then I try to pronounce it myself. I try to imagine I'm the person from the video and not myself, because when I know that it's me speaking, I remember my background and, my linguistic background. So it hampers the progress. Intonation, I mark the intonation patterns once again, and you need to find your way to work with intonation. Then speed. This is my number one, because I usually want to speak super fast, but I shouldn't be doing this like now, for example. You need to start slow, focus on articulation, and only then, after having worked on articulation, go faster. Don't try to do it as fast as possible from the very beginning. You actually miss the most important thing, which is articulation. If you can produce the sounds, if you can produce everything, it will be easier for you to do it faster after. But now you need just to learn about all of this. Correctness. If you're repeating after a native speaker, we are usually fine, but you can double check if you wish. And once again, cool stuff. If you find cool stuff, go for it. Now, the two examples, I brought some examples. Zendaya's, phrases from one of the interviews I found on YouTube. Let's first listen to it, and then I will talk about the features that I personally found interesting.
It spoke to me because I love my job so much. I'm so grateful that I get to do this for a living, and I think, like, what if it was all taken away? And for her true love was tennis. That was like, that's all she ever wanted, and thankfully I get to do this for as long as I really want to.
So what is interesting for me? First of all, it's the rhoticity, even though I'd say it's the easiest thing to hear, because this is the most maybe obvious difference between the two accents I'm interested in. So the British accent that I kind of already have, and the American accent, that's my target accent. So rhoticity, I put for a living and for as long too, but even in British English it would be for a living and for as long. What's interesting for me here is for her and ever wanted. So I noticed the two cases of rhoticity that are native to American English.
And for her true love, and for her true love.
Then I have the cases of dark l. Once again, in grateful, it will be dark, even in the British accent. But in English, in English modern RP, it will be love and living. But in American English, it's almost always dark l. So it's love and living. It's not love and living. It's love and living. Living.
For as long as I really want to. For as long as I really want to.
Number 3, unreleased stops. What is a stop? It's p, t, k, b, d, g sounds. And in this chunk of video, we have ni and want to. What's interesting is that ni is pronounced without d at all, and want to, we have only one t realized. So we have one, two. The second t is released. Want to. She doesn't say want to.
And I think for as long as I really want to. For as long as I really want to.
Then number 4, intervocalic nt, so it becomes wanted instead of wanted.
All she ever wanted. All she ever wanted.
Number 5, the vowel that I personally find fundamental for the American pronunciation is a, job, wanted.
Love my job so.
Zendaya uses a glottal stop in grateful. She doesn't say grateful, she says grateful, grateful, and I try to reproduce it too.
So grateful, so grateful.
Number 7, that's not relevant to me. She says think instead of think, and I don't want to keep it because it's one of the prominent features of my L1 accent, Russian accent, because we don't have th sound in the language, so people usually say think instead of think, but I don't want to keep it, so I will just skip this feature. Not interested. And the second example is the same interview, but this time it's Demi. Let's listen to it.
Early part of life, you're just striving to see what you can do And then if you find enough of it, it's like then having to separate and live and have more of a balance in your existence.
So once again, the eroticity, the R's.
Early part of
Then the prenasal A raising in can. She doesn't say can, she say can, because this is a nasal sound. N is a nasal sound, so it's not can, it's can.
Can do.
It's not balance, it's balance. So this I will keep. So can, but
Balance.
and once again, dark less in life, live, balance.
Live and
And some general observations. Let's open them, it will be easier. First of all, the priority is to build a habit. I know we don't like habits because habits are robotic and all of this, but just try to make it measurable. Not miserable. It can be 1 hour per day, it can be 2 analysis like in this video a week. For me, it's 3 videos a week. What does it mean? It's the videos that I make myself. So I can trace my progress with my own videos. And this is the point number 2, find a natural way to use this skill. So I use this skill by creating my own videos, and when I film my vlogs, I try to use my American pronunciation. Once again, even in this video, it's not the real American pronunciation, but I try to use it. I don't actually use all the sounds that I know about. Once again, the difference between branch 1 and branch 2, but I try to do so. You can, for example, practice your accent with another person, but honestly, I think it's kind of hard to find a person who would listen to our accent. You can just talk to yourself. This is what I do not every day, every hour. So this is why I needed a channel. Just open your mouth. Don't underestimate the difficulty of producing sounds, because you need to, once again, rebuild your articulation, the system of articulation. So it's harder to talk for hours than it seems, and it takes effort and time. It's right, you need time and you need effort, intentional effort to change your accent. You need to do research, you need to ask questions, you need to do something actively, because you can't just listen to the thing and understand it without any work behind it. Maybe you can say that this is something interesting, I can hear it, but you will not necessarily understand what's going on. So it's good, I would say, to feed your knowledge base. This is what I do, at least. For listening is crucial, because this is our input. Just listen to things. Our brain get used to the patterns of intonation, of pronunciation in general. Overall, you need to do something. So you learn and you use this knowledge. This is how I work on my pronunciation. I really hope that you liked this video, and please let me know if it was useful for you. Thank you and bye.